Welcome to the Byron Dragway podcast. It is Wednesday, December 11th, joined here with track owner BJ Vangsness. My name is Randy Simpson. Welcome to the show.
Well, hi, Randy. How are you today?
Good, doing well. Been a while since we've done one of these. People always ask, what do we do all winter long during the off season? As though the gates just fling open, we work, and then once they're shut, we're done. But I think today we can kind of give people a little glimpse into what happens in the background and get people up to speed with some announcements we've made recently, BJ.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of calls of people saying what's going on for the 2020 schedule, what's the season bring, and and I'm still stuck in a habit of running the sweeper and the vacuum truck down the track, and we had a little dusting of snow, and I got up this morning. I thought I'd tackle that project first, and is just a habitual habit, but I shook myself free of that.
I was woken by the noise. I live within earshot of the racetrack. Usually you can, hear the generators there at night when the racing season's going on, or you hear the some of the shenanigans that happen on the golf carts at night. But I did hear the billy goat blower making laps out there. So
did you hear the jet dryer by chance?
Did not hear that, BJ.
Yeah,
no.
It's in storage.
Okay, that's good. If that was going, I heard a plane going overhead, but that was not you. So couple things we're going to talk about in this episode. I believe people probably saw, and if they did not see, last week we put out some of our special event dates. Previously announced was Hot Rod Drag Week, an event that we had back in 2017, was a master hit, and got it back again this year, BJ.
That was one of my favorite events, and I remember taking pictures and videos of some of the cars coming in with the tires on the roof, the Sky 66 Chevelle strapped down with this trailer in the back, hauling all his essentials. It was pretty neat event. I'm excited and looking forward to that this upcoming September.
You are, I am. I can tell you the people on the internet are absolutely crazy about the event. It's one of those, it's an absolute bucket list event. If you have not been there, you got to see it. And what it is, it's 5 days, 4 racetracks. And the cars not only race down the drag strip, but they got to drive from track to track to track to track. Putting about 1,000 miles on the cars, total round trip. They begin in Michigan, going to make stops at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, Summer Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio, and of course Byron Dragway on Thursday, September 17th. So make sure you put that one on your calendar.
Do you remember last time Drag Week, what happened in the morning?
What happened in the morning, BJ?
Do you remember you couldn't... When we got there, it was a nice morning to start out, and as the morning progressed, closer to the 8 o'clock range where we're ready to launch, that you couldn't see the 8th mile.
I remember there was a fog.
Yeah.
There was a fog.
We had a delayed start, and we're like the cars would disappear if we ran them.
Well, you get there. Well, I mean, it might have been foggy the whole time, but I think we got there at about 4:30, maybe 5 a.m., so the sun was still probably an hour and a half, 2 hours away from even
peaking,
breaking dawn.
Yeah.
So it might have been foggy the whole time. It's just as the daylight came about, we started to kind of pick up on that.
We don't get fogged that often on a hill like that.
No, we don't. But last week we also announced...
You think it was the nuclear plant?
It could have been. Sometimes you do. It kind of creates its own atmosphere. If the wind is coming straight out of the south, you have had that little cloud. It doesn't really provide much shade on the track, I guess, but it's sort of its own. As Bob Brockmeyer once put it, it is almost its own atmosphere that it is creating up there.
Interesting.
So, also put out there that on Sunday, October 4th, the return of the 26th Annual World Power Wheel Standing Championships, a great show last year in 2019. Chris Pierce to Shinto taking home the top prize at $10,000. Jeff Wild, the convertible all-motor Buick, coming in second. And just a great show by all.
That was a great event.
It was. Now, we had kind of my voice has recovered from that weekend, but you may remember that you kind of halfway through the show got tapped on the shoulder by way of radio.
Was it your voice or were you just shy?
I was sicker than a dog,
okay.
BJ.
All right. Well,
you announce out at the track all year long when you've got 500 people there for this event, 1,500 there for this event, but the big one.
I know, thousands of people.
The big one.
And you throw me in the hot spot.
Tens of thousands of people. And those are the days that you wake up for and you just gear up for, and what happens? You talk and nothing comes out.
Yeah.
Sicker than a dog, but you pressed into service very well and put on one heck of a show, as did the racers. So
that was a great event. I'm looking forward to the 2020.
Absolutely. A couple of other events coming up. A little bit of a date change we announced for the 21st annual Firecracker Bracket Nationals. It's going to be running about 1 week earlier than previously. So mark your calendar, June 26th, 27th, and 28th. 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is it, the Firecracker.
Nice.
So registration, BJ, when is that opening up?
Oh, registration's coming up pretty soon. And, it filled up so fast last time. My phone was ringing off the hook at, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And I planned to be in bed at that time. Is my normal course of action. I do have those intermediate at my age bathroom breaks, but it filled up quickly. And I think we're shooting for December 21st.
Yeah, we're going to do it on a weekend, Saturday, December 21st. We're going to also move it to the morning.
Midnight. Oh, it's not a midnight sign-up?
Not a midnight.
I'm up Saturday night at midnight. I'm usually somewhere, especially in the winter. I mean, I could sign up at that time.
Well, there might be other people out on a Friday night as well, so I'm going to be moving it to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday, December 21st. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Mark your calendar, and you know what? That might be a stocking stuffer. $100 down.
A great idea.
$100 down for the put your name on the list, get you in the race. The balance is, of course, due sometime early in the spring of 2020, but $100 down to get you on the entry list for the very exclusive 21st annual Firecracker Bracket Nationals.
That will fill up fast because I've already had people wanting to give me money and do that, and it's very tempting because I could use some Christmas cash myself. Mm-hmm. But since it goes to the racers and it's the entry fee, I just told them they better do it online.
Yeah, why not? Another event that we are very much looking forward to, going to be in the same date that it was last year, same weekend, July 17th, 18th, and 19th. None other than the Glory Days Vintage Drag Race Car Show and Swap Meet, returning to Byron Dragway. And a special announcement for that one. Registration is going to be opening soon, right on New Year's Day. But before we get to that, we got to make a couple of special announcements for Glory Days. BJ, what would be the thing that stands out most for you from Glory Days 2020?
Glory Days 2020.
No, I guess we're not there yet.
You mean?
Yeah, 2019.
What stands out the most? I think what stands out the most is the heat index and the mono racers that showed up with that heat index, and the awesome job that the fire department did, that the sheriff's department did with the cooling tent, with the Mr. Sprayers, and then the other one was over by the diner, the Mr. Sprayer, and with the turnout that we had was phenomenal for the weather, that everybody had an awesome time, and it was neat. And the ones that didn't show up, I think, really missed out. But it was a great event, and the night show was phenomenal as well.
I think at one point 111 degrees was the heat index, and so it was certainly a bit of bravery on behalf of the racers. But like you mentioned, the community, the staff, you had staff down at the turnoff right as cars rounded the corner coming off the track.
Everybody got a bottle of water if they wanted one.
Literally just handing people cold bottles of water. It was a hot one, not one transport in the heat.
And that was the first heat day, the hottest day we've had in years, or weekends in years.
Yeah.
And it fell right on that day, which is bizarre. The last thing that, you would expect.
So this is something that I think we made the decision to do this a long time ago, but we're just now putting the announcement out there that if you competed in the 2019 edition of Glory Days, rather than have to race to get on the entry list, it is a first come, first serve. As long as that car meets criteria, it's going to be plain and simple. The first ones to sign up are the ones to get on the list. The waiting list starts, but there's no guarantees there. And I think demand for this race is going to be higher this year because we're going to go right ahead and take care of those racers from last year, BJ.
So the racers from last year is what you're saying. The several hundred that were there, or more than that, are guaranteed a spot.
They are guaranteed a spot. In fact,
awesome.
We're going to hold a spot for them on the entry list up until April 1st of 2020. They have to let us know by then
Well, then
that they're
we're also
coming.
inundated with a couple other groups that are wanting to sign up with their vintage cars as well, that I understand.
Well, that is special announcement number 2.
Oh, are we saying that now? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it out there.
Well, there's another one we can't say yet.
Well, we should probably leave that
Until
one.
it's confirmed. Leave that one alone, because that'll be neat. And the special guests and everything else. We'll leave that alone until contracts are signed.
We'll get that one hashed out a little bit further. But an event that was a standalone for the last 2 years, going to be brought in, going to welcome back Vintage Drag Racing 101 with the Uncle Sam's Pie Eating Contest.
Oh, that's a great group.
As part of the Glory Days Vintage Drag Race. So we all know Glory Days is 66 and earlier. It's the gassers, the hot rods, the super stocks, front engine dragsters, and altereds. But the Uncle Sam's Pie Eating Contest, and while they do have a literal apple pie eating contest, where the term comes from, pie eating contest, is of course the pie crust slick. So while Glory Days is a certain criteria for a certain year, make, model types of cars, they go another step further. They've got all the cars equipped with a pie crust slick. Picture the old days. You've got the slick tire, and then they had the sort of decorative, what they call the pie crust.
The ridge.
Around the edge of the tire there, where the sidewall meets the tread. And so they've got the pie crust slicks, and they also don't do any burnout. So just like the old days, they weren't doing the long, smoky burnouts that you will see.
The line and launch, and then up in smoke they go. And
yep, you'll see the burnouts. Don't get me wrong, folks. The Glory Days are going to have plenty of long, smoky burnouts, but unique with the Uncle Sam's Pie Eating Contest, they just literally come from the staging lanes, pull it straight up. And I like it, BJ, because it really puts that right foot back into the equation again. It's not the tire technology of today. It's not just let it rip and the track will take it. You got to actually put the driver back in the seat again for the Uncle Sam's Pie Eating Contest.
Pedal it.
Exactly. So they've got several the gas classes, A, B, C, D, all the way on down. So they got a dragster and altered class. So actual competition coming to Glory Days 2020.
So July 17th, 18th, 19th. Thursday, gates are open for parking because you're going to be, I mean, you get a crowd of racers lining down the road and campers. I mean, galore campers and vendors and swap meet and car show. You know, that was one of the largest car shows probably in the whole region that we had a couple years ago. Wasn't there nearly 600 some car show entries?
There is more than just what happens on the track. It is the whole property.
It is. It's a neat event. And, you know, we took away some of the farmer's property that he cash rents out from us, and has became more vintage racing parking and swap meet and car shows and everything.
And you know what? If we got to mow over a bean field to make more room for parking, we will not bat an eye. We will not hesitate to do it. I think Brett Michaels might just jump right on it.
Oh, they love doing that stuff anyway. They think it's cool to destroy a farmer's crop. Sorry, farmers, but...
So with all of that said, registration opening for Glory Days on what will be Wednesday, January 1st at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now keep this in mind.
So when you register, if you've already been there, if you ran in 2019, your spot is reserved. You just got to sign up, pay your entry, so that way it helps the flow at the gate, so they're not back out on the road.
Exactly. One thing different from years past, something we do with our Firecracker race goes over very well, is the $75 entry fee. That is for all 3 days. If you come out for one day or you come for 3 days, it is a flat $75 entry fee for the Glory Days weekend. That will be collected at the time of registration. So we have noticed in the past that some people will put in a project car, and we welcome those. We welcome the cars that are in process, getting ready for the event. But we also want people to be realistic. If they're just going to get their name on the list because they want to tell people they're on the list, that's not what this is about. We want hardcore racers that are coming out to the race to take those spots. So we will collect the $75 entry fee upon registration. Now, if you've got a car that you're not totally sure that I meet criteria with necessarily, we would encourage you between now and January 1st, send an email to glorydays@byrondragway.com Send pictures of the car. We can look at it there, get back to you with if the car meets the criteria.
Now, we don't look at it ourselves. The committee does.
The committee.
Clarify that, because it's not me or you that makes the decision. It's the group of vintage guys and gals that make that.
Correct. So, but just going to put that out there that we've already got the cars from 2019 automatically on the list this year. You've got more cars coming for the Uncle Sam's Pie Eating Contest.
Oh, it's going to fill quick.
So there will be a registration through Vintage Drag Racing 101.
So don't be out partying too late if you want to sign up for that one.
I'm not sure this is the party crowd, BJ. They might.
Oh, are you kidding? Come on. There's some of those. There's a lot of those guys that are into that. They're a handful that might not get in for being out too late at night.
Maybe so, but the fact remains that there are going to be more cars this year already by default from 2019 to this year, as well as Uncle Sam's Pie Eating Contest. So if you want in this race, it is a first to enter, first to get on the list. And there's no cherry picking the cars. Once they're on the list, if they meet the criteria, they are in.
Got it.
So you will not want to drag your feet on that. BJ, anything else going on before we wrap up today's episode?
Like you said, what we do in the off season, we try to stay busy. We actually are just as busy as we are during the on season. It seems like that void gets filled.
Is that a technical term, on season?
Yeah, on season.
Okay,
in season, but we eat more. We seem to gain weight a little bit more in the winter. This week I've been through an electronic nightmare with new cell phones, and as they were giving me troubles, and then my laptop broke, so new laptop. So I'm getting up to date, tech savvy, and everything else, and just to get everything hooked up right and properly set up and swapped over and all that stuff. What I've done is I went to the Byron grade school and found myself the fifth grader, because you got to be smarter than a fifth grader, which some of this stuff they're smarter than me on, without a doubt. So I've got a couple of fifth graders coming to update all my equipment, transfer everything over and everything. So as soon as I get out of class.
Well, at least you said it, so I don't have to. So you've got that going on this week. Of course,
they can help you too.
We need as much as we can get. Of course, the Performance Racing Industries Trade Show, Indianapolis this weekend. Busy weekend for us. We're trying to hit as many booths, get around, see as many people as we can. But of course, the NHRA Track Operator Conference Friday afternoon.
See us at the PR show, pat us in the back, say hi. We're on a mission. We're going to be moving fast.
Yep, we're doing all that. Track Operator Conference Friday afternoon for us, and we'll be at the...
Are you going to be pretty good at the track operating meeting, or are you going to stir it up? Or is it my turn?
I think I'm the well-behaved one of the bunch.
Oh, so, okay, I'm getting out of line.
Well-behaved.
All right.
NHRA North Central Division III banquet on a Saturday evening, so go to cheer on all of the champions.
I probably should wear a suit and tie, shouldn't I?
BJ, I know that you keep a suit dry cleaned and pressed for an opportunity like this. You don't shy away from wanting to get spruced up. I know better.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Hope it's a good meal.
Always is. So that'll be, I think that's at the Wyndham, I believe. So,
yep.
So that's just a little glimpse, I guess, into what a day is like in the off season here for the crew at Byron Dragway.
Yeah, we got a lot more planned. A lot more things going on next year.
BJ, have you ever listened to a podcast before?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not just going into this blindly.
Oh, no, I've listened to podcasts before, yeah. I bet I've listened to so many podcasts, you could probably count them on one hand.
Well, that's, you know what, that might be 4 or 5 more than some people, so hopefully they're spreading the word about the Byron Dragway podcast. We started this last year, and I think we've honed in on the blueprint to how to do this and do it with consistency, but we're excited to continue this, and I think we're going to have a podcast announcement about something coming up at our next trade expo, the Race Performance Expo, and I believe that's in Schaumburg again this year.
Oh, yeah, so we got that.
So we'll save that announcement for another day.
We got a lot going on. It's pretty exciting.
Exciting times, for sure.
Yeah.
Any last word, BJ?
No, just have a great holiday season if we don't see you, and a safe one. Keep the right attitude, positive attitude, enjoy life as much as you can while you got it.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends. We'll catch you next time.
All right.
Goodbye.